So I'm sitting in my car about to go for a walk at the beach, and I was just thinking about something. Sometimes in life, we can go through so much trauma that we begin to take on that trauma as a part of our personality, and it becomes like a blanket that we carry around. Think about it like this. Have you ever talked to someone and you're trying to give them positive affirmation, or you're trying to share encouragement with them? Or they're asking your opinion about something, and then every time you give them something that they can do, they give you an excuse why not, why can it not work, and they always shoot down every positive statement with something negative. That response comes from a deeper place with inside, and I've lived it. There was a point in my life when I'd gone through so much. I had lost my husband, and I had gone through some deep, dark depression, and it felt like everything was closing in around me. I mean, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. There was no one who I felt like understood the deep, pain that I was going through. And every time that someone would say something to me, I would immediately think they have no idea what they're talking about. That's never going to be me. No one else can ever replace what I've lost. How can they tell me that I'm going to be okay? And all of those thoughts were just a part of my character. And it began to shape how I looked at the world. And it wasn't a view that I felt like I deserved, but it was something that I couldn't stop. And I didn't have the tools at that time or the understanding of how that type of trauma and depression and stress can start to shape a person. And it wasn't until I got to a place in my life where things had gotten so bad and I had gone down so far, down a deep hole of alcoholism and just self-destructive behavior. And it was a point to where I couldn't go on any longer. And I felt like God was saying, it's time for a change. And at that point, I realized that all of the ways in which I was thinking and all of the voices that I was listening to, it became a part of me in such a way that I had to actually be unpacked. And that unpacking came through a series of very hard struggles. And it wasn't something that was easy to go through. And it wasn't even something that I was prepared to understand who I truly was and how much of this deep, dark thoughts, mindsets, and behaviors had just become a part of who I was only because I didn't have another way. And when God actually showed me, I realized that I don't want to live this life anymore. I have to change the way I think. And so what did I do? I found a way for me to dig deeper into prayer. I had to write down positive affirmations and scriptures and post them on my windows and my mirrors every single morning where I could see it. And repeat to myself what I wanted to be and who I wanted to become and who I was. And it was through a deep reflection and a deep need for me to see my life differently than where it was. Long nights, dark nights of the soul that it's almost scary for me to talk about sometimes. But to be able to say today that I am not who I was and how I thought is no longer who I am. Almost to the point to where it feels like a pendulum swung and I woke up a different person. Now, it didn't feel like that at the time. It took years for me to get to a point to where I could actually feel lighter and be able to have joy and be able to believe that it was mine. But if that's where you are today, it's also for you. You don't have to walk around in this dark night of the soul moment all the time. You don't have to take on the behavior of depression, stress, and anxiety just because it's all you've ever known. You may be in an environment where people aren't that encouraging, but sometimes you have to learn how to encourage yourself. So wherever you are today, believe that you deserve to have a life that's light, that's full of joy and hope, and number one, peace. Because without peace, all of the other things don't matter. So I pray today that you find the strength to change your mind, and you'll see your life begin to change in a miraculous way. Take care.